Hi guys, it's Jolene with Jovi Star Astrology. Welcome back. I am going to talk with you a little bit today. I'm going to do a quick video today about Venus entering the sign of Leo and how she immediately opposed Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. She's been in Leo since yesterday, since the 6th. So she's already started and she's starting to move off into Leo out of the 0-degree mark where she was yesterday. But her opposition with Pluto in Aquarius is still very active and will continue to be active throughout the week. I'm going to show you the chart so that you can see what I'm talking about here. Hang on. There we go. There is the chart. The chart's actually sitting at yesterday, June the 6th. So it shows the sign of Venus, the planet Venus in the sign of Leo, directly opposite Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. And so 0 degrees, 0 degrees, very strong energy at 0 degrees. Very, very potent. Any 0-degree mark is very potent. The Pluto has retrograded back in the sign of Aquarius, where it entered in March and will retrograde back into Capricorn on June 11th for a short time. Actually, it's a short time for Pluto, but it's not really a short time in our lives, I guess. We'll go back into Capricorn and then move forward again into Aquarius in January, which kind of indicates that we're taking a little bit of a look back. We're talking about the planet Pluto. Pluto is after some kind of change, and it's some kind of a deep underlying issue that it's after, right? So it could be something hidden, something from the past. So this is very potent energy. Pluto is a very, very strong planet that demands change and evolution. And Venus down here in the sign of Leo, a fixed fire sign, is a very potent opposition. So this could be a transit between yesterday and the end of the week that could prove to be pretty explosive. Actually, in the world, if we can talk about just how this might play out in the world, being Aquarius being the collective, and Venus there in the fire sign of Leo representing the sun and the south is a very hot placement for Venus. In the world, this could show up as actual explosions, crashes, fires, right? We're in the summer. Venus and Leo could show us things like wildfires or just sudden abrupt fires. It could be connected to things that are electrical, representing the sign of Aquarius. So we could see those kinds of things. I know here where I am in Phoenix, we had a very large brush fire that was coming from a farm far outside of the valley. And it's been burning for days, and it's probably about 50 miles away from where I'm at, but it's coming into the city. And a lot of people are wondering, like, what's burning nearby? It's not nearby, but it's affecting the environment. And there is a square here to the nodes. You can see the nodes in the North Node in Taurus and the South Node in Scorpio. And Taurus represents the earth and the ground. So that's a good example of the types of things that we can see, that we may see. Also, there could be power struggles, issues within relationships, and relationships specifically involving children, or things coming to the surface that we might hear about involving children. But for me, the story here is that Pluto is squaring the nodes and making this opposition with Venus. And when we have Pluto squaring the nodes, it tells us that there's something that needs to be integrated, something from the past or something that we're not showing. needs to be integrated into our future path, the North Node in Taurus. So in evolutionary astrology, it talks about Pluto squaring the nodes, indicates a skipped step. So something that has to be integrated to move forward on our evolutionary path. So it can be very, very powerful, and it can feel like a push. And because it's Pluto, it can be something that's very deep and significant. Because Venus is relational, it indicates that, it tells me that these are themes potentially around relationships. Specifically, Pluto in Aquarius wants to be free, ruled by Uranus, wants to be free, wants to express its individuality, wants to find its place in the community where it feels most comfortable, where it feels like it is expressing itself authentically. And Venus in Leo ruled by the sun, but representing the self, representing creativity and fun and expression, right? So this is very much about expressing yourself. In Leo, it's your authentic self. It's the place that is the most genuine and heartfelt expression of who you are, of who we are. And so, which is why it also represents children, right? Leo represents children because children express themselves just how they are. And so much in our relationships and in the world in general today, we aren't able to truly express who we are without feeling like an outcast in the community, or feeling a little bit insecure as to whether or not we'll be rejected. And so this Venus opposite Pluto is really putting a pressure on choosing between, what things look like, how we fit into the community, and what we truly want for ourselves. So when it comes to relationships, this could create significant breaks or situations that are super intense within relationships. Pluto can also be about obsession. So, it could be pulling issues up to the surface that could be quite difficult to address. But Venus there in Leo is saying, I need to be who I am and express my true self. And there's not going to be any holding back, especially depending on the level of frustration that any one person feels, or any situation is holding. So this could be a very interesting time this week for relationships. You could see breaks in relationships. You could see a very strong pull to past relationships with the square to the nodes. And Pluto can represent being tempted to free ourselves from something that we are feeling suppressed in, or unable to express our authentic self within, and take us back into situations, or put us into situations where we could create chasms in our relationships. And because of the square to the nodes, some of this is meant to be. It's possible that we have things to clean up before we move forward into relationships being in a better place than we were before, or at least having acknowledged and expressed and worked on things before we can move forward into something that is much more peaceful and simplistic, which is Taurus. So very interesting time for relationships. We could see us being pulled to things from the past, or bringing in past relationship issues or wounding into current relationships, therefore creating splits and breaks and issues in our current relationships. So lots of things can happen here, but it definitely isn't going to be boring, right? Venus will be in Leo for quite some time, until October. It's a very long transit for Venus. This is this is her time in her cycle where she will be retrograding, and she will retrograde at the end of July through the beginning of September. And Venus is all about love and relationships. It's also about money too, and things that we value. So although, I talked a lot about the relational issue here, this could also be issues around our relationship to money as well. So I will do a video on her transit through Leo and talk a little bit more about the aspects that she'll be making and the dates for her retrograde, but that should prove to be very interesting. Definitely when we have a retrograde in Venus, we are taking a look back. So that could make for some interesting times, and we'll talk about that a little bit more very, very soon. But I wanted to acknowledge this, and I actually started to do it yesterday, but I've just, had some things going on and I didn't get to it today. But the transit is still occurring, so it's okay. One other thing too, if we come across tension in relationships that are bringing us to a boiling point or creating a lot of frustration, we do have a sextile to the sun in Gemini, which gives us an out, gives us a way to lean into and think about, a better way to handle those situations through communication. So, but, a sextile is something that we have to reach for and put in place ourselves. But the universe is supporting us in having some good communication. On the lighter side, this can be a very fun transit as well, and have us very busy and wanting to get out into our communities and just have a lot of fun. Leo is the sign of fun and romance and excitement. So there's that too. But the relationship issues should be very, very interesting. So let me know what's going on in your life, relationship wise. And if you would like to take a look at your birth chart, my information is down below. Get a hold of me, email, or head over to my website. And I would love to talk to you about it. So thanks for coming again. Thanks for listening to this quick video. And I will see you next time. Let me stop the share here. I will see you in the next video where we'll talk a little bit more about Venus. And I'm putting something together. I really want to talk about Saturn's transit through Pisces. Saturn entered Pisces in March. So because I just rebooted my channel, I obviously didn't put anything out about that ingress, but Saturn will be retrograding soon. And so I figure it's a good time I can kind of go back and talk about it. But Saturn will be in Pisces for 2.5 years. And there will be a lot to talk about when it comes to, all of the things that we could see coming up with the transit of Saturn in Pisces. I also want to talk more about the ingress of Pluto into Aquarius and my long-term impressions and ideas and things that I've been thinking about. Very long transit in the sign of Aquarius, so we've got time there. But now is the time for all of us to start reaching out and connecting with one another, so that we can. It's a brainstorming transit for sure. Innovation changes, and it's all about people connecting with other people. So I'll be talking about that a lot over these next months. So again, thanks for coming. Please give me a like and a share and a comment. That helps as I grow my channel. I want to try and grow my channel to 1,000 subscribers in the next 6 months to a year. We'll see if I can do that. And I would be grateful for your help in doing in reaching that goal. So I will see you next time. May the stars forever be in your favor. Take good care.